Alright, fuckers, holy shit. I know it's been a while, it's been a week. I know on the videos end, like those of you who watch, or there's nothing changes on your fucking end. My backlog, I'm the best, I'm the GOAT, whatever. But dude, I have missed drawing because it's been a week since I've done my actual practice. It's just all been the shorts, which is good practice because they're exercises. But I'm so fucking done with those shorts, and finally today I get to just finish them all off, edit it, post it, get my free year of artwod membership. All right. Oh yeah, welcome back to artwod beginner roadmap fundamentals grind node blah 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 bullshit. I have to keep saying that because I mean at the end of the day, artwod is what gave me the skill to what talk about them. I don't fucking know. Hold up, I forgot to open up my my artwod grind node. There it is. There it is. Cool. Let's there you go. Okay, let's get. Can't even speak. But yes, I missed my audience. I missed drawing. I'm so fucking happy I'm here now. Jesus Christ. Let's draw. Let's draw. Join me. Let's practice some multiple rounding. Right? So, I want to think about having, I guess, quote unquote, unique designs, right? And this all comes from practicing orthographic views, of course, and that's actually a great mindset or a skill that I'm actually trying to train right now. Is what would orthographic views look like in my mind as I draw, right? Like essentially, while I create anything now, it is probably best to start thinking about the front view, the top view, the side view, and what that entails, right? Because it is really easy to just kind of create bullshit like I have here, but then once you start thinking about, okay, there's a view per side that comes in handy. I think, and again, that's very difficult, don't get me wrong, right? It's very difficult to just suddenly start thinking and like, oh, okay, we're just gonna do multiple rounding, orthographic view design. That's complex, and then memorize that and rotate it from memory. That's fucking a lot of shit to think about. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see where I can take this. Just another skill to add to the tool belt. Obviously, my lines, as always, need work, right? But now, I guess I can start thinking about the front, right? Multiple rounding is interesting in that sense. I have a lot to consider in that regard. Still trying to figure out what kind of design can be involved with multiple rounding though, right? It's very difficult to think of. Personally, for me, it's been very difficult to, because what did I do here? I did something like that, and then I think here's when I was starting to realize that certain things could be done. Like here, this one I actually definitely realized certain things could be done. So we just have to bring that to light, I guess, right? So what I want to do right now then is, let's see, I'm trying to figure this out. Well, one thing I could do for sure maybe is something like this. And I know what I'm creating right now probably won't look like much, but I want to very clearly state that I'm literally starting to train my mind to think in terms of orthographic views. So while I'm drawing this, I'm thinking about the front, the side, and the top, right? Because that's design. Design is the X, Y, Z axis, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? The three planes. And a certain amount of things exist on those planes in a particular orientation. So my, I guess, prerogative right now is to speak with a deep voice and obviously practice multiple rounding on top of that. Like this is essentially a double multiple rounding. So it's rounding here and then it's rounding around it. Is it perfect? No, but it's fun and I'm glad I'm taking my time, right? Now, obviously, I think I'm gonna have some single rounding mixed in. It's just kind of inevitable. So I could do something like this. right? And I have to think about the side. See, I thought about the front here, but what does the side look like? Well, now the side could actually have something like that, right? And because we're already on the topic of multiple rounding cylinders, maybe it's not outlandish to have something like this sticking out, which I just thought of because, again, I'm trying to think about the side view as well, right? So something like that. And I like doing this because it also helps me think about quote-unquote, I don't know why quote-unquote things that don't need to be quote-unquoted, but it helps me think about my line quality as well, which is, of course, very difficult. And again, I'm also thinking about, Topness, we've heard this before, but the form. I'm thinking about the perspective and the form and the box that it's encompassed in. I genuinely do wonder how many people actually understand the value of that, of form, right? Because I feel as if most beginners do exactly what I've seen, which is like, oh yes, perspective is important. They maybe draw 50 to 100 boxes, maybe, right? And then they lie to themselves because they realize it's actually very difficult, right? You genuinely realize how difficult that shit is. And they lie to themselves and they say, okay, well, I think I understand it now. I am now done. I am now done with form. I'm done with perspective. I've mastered it, right? And then they move on to drawing, quote unquote, the things they want to draw. I still don't know if the quote unquote was appropriate there. But yeah, they move on to drawing the things they want to draw, right? And that results in frustration because they can't draw the things they want to draw. They need to understand 3 dimensions, right? They need to understand how to create believable forms, right? Just been thinking about that as of late. How many beginners actually understand how important it is? Because even like on my live streams and shit, people ask me the same questions over and over and over and over, and I'm just like, bro, how many times can I say the same thing in a different way? The answer is forever, actually, because I'm willing to keep repeating the same shit. But it's actually kind of comical at this point, where it's just like, oh, you still need me to tell you to draw bare boxes and put them in conjunction with cylinders and to visualize the grid. Like, you still need me to tell you that. And you still need me to tell you that, yes, it takes a lot of mental energy, and yes, that most artists you see who are able to do something like, even just something like this, are literally seeing a grid in their mind and calculating as they go about it. Like, is it really that hard to believe that art takes that much effort? I don't think it should be that hard to believe. But apparently it is right now. I'm just trying to think, because I've created quite an interesting shape here. And see, again, it's difficult, right? I lost the orthographic view, but we can always bring it back. And then, oh, we can do something like this. And it's never perfect. It's not about being perfect. It's just about understanding, right? Understanding and a relative degree of application. Right? And what do I mean by relative degree? Like a relative degree in the sense that you are making an attempt to apply to the best of your ability. Right? Just like I am over here. I'm making an attempt to apply clean lines while thinking about the form, while thinking about the cutouts, while rounding everything to the best of my ability. Is it perfect? No. But as Vegeta once said, you're either perfect or you're not me. And that is canon. I wish it was canon. Team 4-Star did such an amazing job, bro. Fucking Toei, you absolute dog shit company. But see, this is like a different type of multiple rounding. But I feel as if this is good. This is the type of stuff that really creates I don't know, visual interest, right? I could do another one here. And we could actually have it like that. It's hard to tell what that is, but I know what it is. But it's probably better to not do something like that, to be honest, now that I've done it. Okay, and then what can we do here? We could do something like, again, I guess another multiple rounding, but again, I want to keep thinking about the design and the shape of things, right? This is the best part, is because orthographic thinking, I guess what I'm doing is, yeah, orthographic thinking forces me to consider literally every single plane that I draw something on, or that I draw, right? And that I think is extremely valuable, because I have to think, okay, what does this look like from the side? What does this look like from the top? What does this look like from the front? So everything I put lines down on have now, at the very least, the attempt to think about what they will look like, or their purpose, I guess you could say, right? And I think that's very valuable. I genuinely think it's a very valuable skill. Again, like, how do you, because this is multiple rounded, how do we make sure that this actually makes sense, right? I was thinking something like this, but now it is a gamble. Let's see how it actually looks. It's not bad, but basically, I can't even speak, but it's a kind of wrapping around, right? I already think, purely just through this practice, just this one, literally this fucking sample size of n equals 1, right, of me trying to think about orthographic views, I'm already designing, in the sense that I'm already along the right path of thinking what things should look like, right? Even here, just think, right? Because we obviously have to make things even. And let's just say this one is just empty. Because one thing I've learned is having some asymmetry isn't bad. It isn't bad at all. In this case, is it good? I don't know, actually. Obviously, I don't know. I'm still figuring things out. But this is where we learn, right? This is too big, I believe. Yeah, and there's the shape. There's the shape I've created. Yeah, good old tea. Good old orange pico tea. But let me rest my brain. I have a lot of drawing to do today. I actually have, my backlog's gone to shit, in the sense that today's Tuesday, September 23rd, right? And tomorrow is the last day that I have a video coming out, so tomorrow, Wednesday. So I have to record 3 hours of videos today. So three videos, basically, like, and then 3 hours again tomorrow. Jesus, to make sure that I have an entire week's worth of backlog. Jesus Christ, fucking T-burp. To upload for Thursday and beyond. And Thursday is my birthday. I'll probably do a birthday live stream. It's why I'm not live streaming today, because I got all these videos to record. It's my practice, and I'm very excited. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna rest my brain, and then I'm gonna memorize this. And because I'm gonna start thinking about it in terms of orthographic views, I think memorization is gonna be a lot easier. This is one thing Kim Jong-il mentioned quite a bit, and you can see, like, he's mentioned it a couple times, but you can see there's like a video of him talking to some interviewer, and he's drawing a bike, right? And he's like, first you draw a bike as a 2D plane, and then he literally just draws like the side view, right? Like of the wheel, the frame, and everything. And he's like, and then you rotate it. So sure, for him and for us viewing, we're like, oh, okay, you just drew the front view or the side view, and then you rotated it. But if you look beyond that, and once you understand that the concept of orthographic views exist, here's my interpretation. Obviously, my interpretation is the fact that he draws that, and then he internalized that form and that view, and that is what's allowing him to memorize it as a three-dimensional form. And it makes complete sense. I don't think this is new information. I think orthographic views have been around forever. But again, like, I've only been exposed to it since Antonio, Artwod, like all that stuff put it about, right? So for me, it's something that's like, well, okay, that feels like a eureka moment. I'm sure it isn't, but it feels like, wow, that's very important. in the sense that this is something new, but it is something very important. I'm not denying that. I feel as if this is slightly off. So why don't we do something like this? And then that way it is even now, right? Pretty good. And we can even have, there's not enough multiple rounding going around. No pun intended. Anyways, I'm just gonna rest my brain and then I'm gonna draw. Memorize this and draw. Give me a moment. Please, I encourage you to do so as well. All right, cool. I actually think this is going to be very fruitful in terms of memorization because, again, like orthographic view, right? So now instead of thinking, oh, I have to memorize all these components and their individuality, I can just think about the pattern that is prevalent per plane, right? So I can just look at this, I can look at this side, and then I can look at, so I can, yeah, like I can look at it this way, and then this way. And then I think that would make things a lot easier. We'll have to see. Again, it's not going to be easy, but I think it would make things a lot easier. So I'm going to give myself 20, 30 seconds to analyze this. And I guess I'll explain my thought process as I'm saying it, because when you teach others, you learn. And when you teach yourself and you explain things out loud, you learn faster and better, right? And that's the whole point. I'm trying to really bring that back. I don't know if I ever stopped, but I'm trying to continue doing that for these videos, because if this is the art progress, demystifying the journey to greatness, as I put on my fucking channel banner or whatever, then it's important that I actually explain what I'm thinking. So here what I'm doing is I'm analyzing the top. I'm thinking about these shapes, right? So it's just like, okay, it's one plane, and underneath that, it's another plane. Like this is like from a flat view, it's literally just looks like a rounded square inside a rounded square. And then here is basically a rectangle, and then a smaller rectangle jutting out, and a smaller rectangle jutting out, and then more rectangles at the top. These are the cutouts. And then again, same thing. So we have symmetry there, right? And it's a gap, it's a space that's basically occurring, and this is like cut together, right? Or cut into it, but that doesn't matter right now. So that's the top. And then I'm gonna look at the side. I think explaining this is actually helping me memorize a lot better, so it's a good thing I'm doing it. And then the side is just, again, it would be a diagonal. So it would be a diagonally, essentially sort of curved rectangle, right? I'm trying to think about it in terms of like a flat plane. It would be basically like a curved, it would be something like this, is what it'd look like from the side. Yeah, that's what it would look like, right, from the side. So it looks like that, then there's a cutout, right? So you see that this opens up from the side, and then you just see two rectangles, because we don't see this side, it's flat. So we see two rectangles, and then again, another smaller rectangle coming out of it. And then this thing is like two small squares, and underneath it is a larger rectangle connecting them, you know? And I feel as if from the side, this would still be flat. And because it's flat, it would just look like this, right? It's jutting out. In terms of 3 dimensions, it's jutting out, but from the side, it's flat, so it's just straight, is how I think it is. Okay, that's the side, and now the front. This is actually really helping. I should fucking do this more often in terms of memorizing. I don't even know if this is cheating or not, but it probably isn't, because it always feels easy when when you have it right in front of you, but then when you take that away, you're like, wait, what the fuck? What was I drawing? So this can all be bullshit, what I'm saying, in terms of, oh, this is helping a lot. And then from the front, we have literally 3 ellipses stacked inside of each other, right? This, and then again, like off to the side now, we have 2 little rounded squares, and then we have a rectangle that has cutouts, right? And then also another rectangle jutting out of it. And on the other side, it would be like that as well, because they're rounded on both sides, but we just don't see it on the other side, right? Yeah, we just don't see it. Yeah, we don't see it. So that would be it. I've explained it to myself and you, the audience, right? If you ever need help memorizing something, I think this is like orthographic views. Again, nothing of what I'm saying is new. I'm just sort of reiterating to myself the importance of such a skill, or a way of thinking, right? But we're gonna cover that now, and then we're gonna draw it and see if all my bullshit was bullshit, or if it was actually helpful. So first we need to establish, well, first we have the rectangle, right? So we have a little rectangle, but before we have that, we could do something like this. So we have this, right? And that comes out like so. Now, I don't know what the bottom looks like, to be honest, but if we were to predict, wouldn't it be something like this? Because then we do have the, let's see, like I'm trying to think about the entire shape itself, right? If that is how it is, then yeah, there you go, something like that. There you go. But I need to think about how this is connecting. It's probably connecting like that, actually. Oh, now this is where I get to actually create the perspective. So something like that. Now this is where I get to follow that perspective. There you go. That's not too bad. Crikey, mate. And then we have the multiple rounded shape. Which is the rectangle, right? So we have something like this. I think this is oriented incorrectly now that I think about it, but it's okay. I purposely make this perspective the hard one because I want to be able to challenge myself, right? And then what did we say there was? We said there was 3 cutouts over here, right? So it was something like this, this, and this. Again, obviously I'm trying to make my lines important as well, in terms of, or not important. See, I'm thinking right now, so obviously I can't explain myself too well, but I'm trying to keep the lines consistent. Obviously a lot of this is messy, but that's okay. Again, that's okay. Right? And to be honest, we could probably finish this off like so. We just need to think about the other side, and then we round it. That rounding is slightly inaccurate, but hey, it's not perfect. It's delicio. No, that's one of my thumbnails, actually. If you should check out my videos, probably 10 videos before this, right? So this is off. It should have been more like this, but then again, I'm the one who created the perspective, so I should have been acutely aware of that. There you go, see? And we would have, for the sake of, let me just, yeah, it's gonna be cut off a little bit, but something like that, right? And now we have, okay, what was the side? See, now this is where orthographic views are gonna be very helpful. What was the side, right? It feels as if this is actually off perspective, now that I think about it. It's okay. The more I noodle it, the worse it's gonna look, just like now. So let's think. The side was, okay, I know there was like, okay, it was just a cutout. It was just a cutout, and it was, okay, so we need to find the middle of this. Go over here. Okay, cool. Nothing particularly impressive about the side. Not yet, anyways. And then, yes, see? This is why orthographic views help, guys. Because you just get to think about... at least this is what I'm realizing that is helpful about orthographic views, is I just get to think about what did that plane look like. I don't have to think about what was exactly that number one thing that I'm missing, right? But it's just what was that plane? What were the shapes involving that, right? See, then we just get to create it. Obviously, I actually fucked up here. I should have drawn the bottom before the top. So thinking ahead is still something that you have to work on. But roughly, we have gotten it down. I feel as if this is too large, but it's okay. And this is obviously, this bottom plane, rounded bottom plane is diverging. I'm well aware of that, don't worry. I see all my mistakes. I just choose to ignore them because I'm perfect. But, and then the top is also, we have the rounded shape here, right? We don't really see that at all, do we? And I know this is diverging as well. Like it's misaligned, I'm well aware. And then we just need, so we need this. Okay, so this is actually really good because it forces me to think about the perspective in a way that I usually don't think about, in terms of, what's it called? Yeah, I have to consider placement, as you can see, right? Not perfect, but again, it's not delicioso. Something like that. Actually, well, it's off. The perspective is off. The perspective is off, so it isn't perfect. Literally, it's not perfect. But we can fix that up here, right? We can do, was it right above it? I think it was right above it. But this is why I like doing this angle, because it forces me to think, right? Now, I'm sure that's actually incorrect, but I think that's basically it for the time being. Let's see. Ah, yes, okay. So a couple things were off. One of the main things is the fact that these actually go down a little bit and then they round off, right? So that's something I missed, and that's because this isn't as large as it should have been, right? So actually, maybe this should have been the centerpiece that I would have focused on prior, but I started here, right? Another thing is this is too long. This is too wide. This is much more narrow. So actually, funny enough, so I did get a lot of, I actually remembered literally everything. Like I literally remembered everything, right? But the proportions, the width and length of the things that I was remembering was something that I hadn't taken into account. So, and this is what half an hour of drawing looks like, right? Just very, very methodological and intentional. Okay, that's pretty good. Now I'm gonna rest my brain, and then we're gonna do like a bunch of quick ones. That's not bad. We do a complex one, and then we do a bunch of quick ones, and we focus on memorizing the orthographic views, right? Like a bunch of quicker ones, right? But anyways, let me rest my brain. It's weird. Something like I literally drew two things. It took me half an hour, right? Not that I'm concerned about speed, but it is interesting how some things can take so long. So now I'm gonna try some of the wireframing stuff, right? So just think. Just trying to figure something out right now. It could work, it could not work. All right, that's the main thing, is it could or could not. That's what I love about art, is I'm always thinking. And these orthographic views are helping so much with that, actually, now that I'm starting to sort of zoom out of my head and just think about the general shape that I want to create. It's helping a lot. Right, so that's the top. What's the front looking like? Let's see. Just trying to think. So something like this, actually. I wonder, I'm just trying to think right now if that even makes sense. I don't think it does. Well, let's figure it out. Let's do it again then. Because we do need to figure out the wireframing, right? This is generally what the wireframe is. So again, if I were to do something like that, it would let's see, what would this result in? Something like that, right? I mean, I've done this before. I'm just sort of reminding. Yeah, that's the word, reminding. Wow. But if I were to, okay, I need to think about just general roundings that I can practice memorizing, right? So even something as small as yes, there's a lot of mistakes there, don't worry, I'm well aware. And then multiple around this entire thing. So how does that work though? That doesn't really look like it's being multiple rounded, but it is. Okay, that's obviously super, super off, and that's just because of my line work. Guess I'm still trying to figure out how sort of subtle multiple roundings can be done, right? Okay, because that's pretty multiple rounded. Just trying to think. Because this was good. This was definitely a good practice. Perhaps I'm going too back and forth. Perhaps I should just focus on something like this, right? How about creating something thin? Let's see. Right? And what I'm basically doing is I'm trying to like expand this outward. I'm trying to incorporate the original multiple rounding that you learn and then the more subtle multiple rounding that you can make. And it's doubly multiple rounded, I guess, if that makes sense. See? something like that. Because this is also, okay, that's a bit too much, and I'm well aware of that. But does that make sense? Right, so you have something like this, right? You round it outward and diagonally, so it ends up becoming something like this. Right? Looks decent, looks relatively appropriate. And then on top of that, you create something like this. Right? So it's literally rounded twice. But does that make sense is the real question. It does kind of work, but not, well, I also didn't draw it very correctly either. It's difficult, it's very difficult. That's the good thing, right? I'm just trying to ideate. It feels as if it's harder to come up with interesting designs for multiple rounding than it is single rounding. And that's why I need more repetitions in, right? But the thing is, we also have to consider I haven't even started doing any plane changes yet. And that's on me. If I haven't started doing plane changes yet, then that means I have a lot of ideation left in me. And the other thing is I could literally do something like this. See? There you go. And again, I think it really is on me. And again, I'll keep saying, like, I notice I draw the worst when I'm putting too many expectations on myself. But when I'm just thinking generally in terms of multiple roundings and kind of what I can do, there seems to be a lot of space and room to grow. Right, something like this, and then what? There you go. Yeah, see? Something like that. It obviously adds to the shape that's being made. And again, I'm still trying to think about orthographic views, so I'm trying to think, how could this be rounded, right? I haven't incorporated any diagonals, so I might as well do that now. And there you go, something like that. So yeah, this is amazing because the limitation is just the user, right? It's a skill issue. Something like that. Boom! That already looks so interesting. Oh my god, oh my god. And then we can have different types of rounding with cylinders here, right? And then even here we could just have but it's not just that. Boom. Look at that. Holy shit. Yeah, it's okay, it's 100% just my own lack of understanding. There you go, and then we can just there, look at that. It's a design. It's not bad. I can honestly, let me just try memorizing that. It has orthographic views. Let me rest my brain first. Okay, cool. So I'm definitely getting to the flow of ideation, which is important and very helpful. And this is obviously, like, I'm gonna be drawing pretty fucking 3 hours nonstop, apart from a little bit break here and there between my sessions. So I'm just gonna keep fucking going. Let's do this. Let me rest my brain first. Yeah, I think the only limitation is myself, and I think it helps to have some sort of idea. I could maybe I think what I want to start doing, hopefully what helps, is start basing it off of real world objects. A lot of kitchenware, furniture, any tool really could. It can be something simple as a pen. But I'm like, I'm gonna base this next rounded shape off a pen. There's a lot that can be done with that, I'm pretty sure, because that's just the basis, right? But anyways, let me memorize this. Okay, so in terms of orthographic views now, we have a pretty good system to launch pad off of, right? So the side is diagonal, like so. Over here as well. I'm just gonna say that the same thing's happening on the other side, right? There you go. We'll keep symmetry just so we can understand it a little bit better for the time being. We have like a rectangle behind it, two larger rectangles that are rounded. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, bro, what the fuck? It's the food I hate. It's so many spices. I need to drink some water. God, since people don't know what I look like, they must think I'm like a fucking sweaty ass neckbeard who's burping all the time. And apart from the sweat, that'd be pretty accurate. Ugh. But let's see. Okay, it's this ellipse inside another ellipse, right? This is like a rounded shape with a cutout. And then there's another ellipse on the top end. It's just a square plane from this top end. So yeah, another ellipse inside another ellipse. And then this one's a diagonal shape. And then behind it is another diagonal cutout shape, right? Rectangle with another, which it's rounded, but you know, for all intents and purposes regarding the 2D. Right, and then this would just be like a square, rectangle, square. And it's falling around. This shit does create a really good wireframe, actually. This 100% does. Something like this creates... This is basically the idea I was thinking of before, but I guess because it's been so long, simply getting to that mind state took longer, which I'm fine, which I'm completely happy, because the point is I'm here now, right? Okay, let's close this off. Okay, and let's try again now. Okay, so I obviously want to start with this, the ellipse, inside the ellipse, which is just more intense, multiple rounding, right? And then we have the rectangle, inside the rectangle, which is again just, it was like this actually, right? Yeah. Something like that. And I think it was a bit longer. Funny thing is I'm still not paying attention to the proportions as much as I should. My rounding's really taken a hit because my lines aren't as clean. So again, it makes sense. So I need to not be so harsh on myself regarding that, because I'm still working on my line work. And as Andrew Huberman says, the effort is the reward. And I will reward myself with 15 gooning sessions after this is done. Okay, so I messed up the perspective, but we're gonna keep going. And I made this way too big, I'm pretty sure. Okay, and then it was this, right? Something like that. I think of something like that, right? No, it'd be this way in terms of the perspective. I'm just trying to think. In terms of, because this is the bottom view basically. Even if I did mess up the perspective, we do have to keep in mind, I'm pretty sure that's an error. And then this comes back like that, right? Before beating it like so. Yeah, I made this way too fucking big. What the fuck? I made it way too big. But, and then from the front we have, maybe if I make it smaller like this, make a difference. Something like this, right? Something like that. It feels like a diagonal. Okay, so this is kind of floating. I didn't do any of this right. I don't believe I did any of this right. Let's leave it for now. I'm actually just... Yeah, I didn't do any of it right. And I made it way too big, so what? Okay, so the biggest issue is the fact that this and this are generally the same proportion, right? But this is where I messed up big time, because I made it way too big. It should have been something like this. So yeah, proportion is the most important thing, because you see how once this got bigger, everything went to shit. Literally everything went to shit. Okay, so, and I got that wrong. The ideas are all there, but the application is subpar. And I think that just comes down to, again, I'm expecting too much. And I don't think I'm thinking as hard as I am. I don't know, maybe I'm being too harsh, but I don't think I'm trying enough. I genuinely don't think I'm trying hard enough to memorize and to genuinely rotate these things in my mind. Okay, so what does that mean? That means we try harder, right? We do it again. So let's see. Something like this. Right, and then I can something like that. Obviously, a lot of this comes down to having the fine motor skills to create clean lines, right? Which I'm working on. Okay, cool. That looks interesting. And then, of course, it all has to be rounded, so I think that is the main problem, though. I'm just not trying hard enough. I don't think I'm trying hard enough. Because if I was trying harder, I wouldn't have given up halfway through. If I was trying harder, I wouldn't have even made the mistakes that I did. Because again, I can't be a hypocrite. I always say make the mistakes, but do your best not to. I didn't do my best not to make these mistakes. I clearly just did not think as hard as I should have. So who is at fault? If we're going to use the word fault, it is I, Vagu. Let's see. And then something like that could be decent, right? I'm just trying to think, because let's see. It's the center. Could try something like and then same thing here. Something like that, right? Lines could always use work. And we could have another multiple rounded. There you go. But we also have to think about some things, because that is pretty multiple rounded and it's getting more abstract, right? So to balance the abstractness, perhaps I'm just thinking right now. No, wait, I'm just trying to figure something out. Let's see. What did I do here? Oh, it's because it's based. Oh, because it's rounded. Okay, I see. I don't know. Maybe that's just a cutout. we'll leave it at that. Some things just I don't understand, and I'm gonna have to practice to understand. Let's see. How do I want to round this? Maybe that's what I want to do. Do that, and then we can I don't know. Just trying to figure things out. That doesn't really look that good anymore. Okay, let's move on. Let's keep trying to create something interesting in terms of design. Right? Multiple rounding is, yeah, it is something there. So clearly, again, it's a skill issue, right? How much time has passed? 54 minutes? Oh, cool. Damn. I don't know why. I'm expecting too much of myself today. Probably because it's been a while, and I want to create cool designs, right? And I want to be able to memorize those cool designs. But that isn't going to serve anybody any purpose, because, see, like that was a mistake. Let's try again. Because wanting and doing, the gap between those is just a lot of volume, right? And I can't just expect myself to be good if I haven't put in the work. Right now, it's just about figuring things out. I need to get that into my head. It's weird. Sometimes I just expect too much of myself. It's odd. Okay, see, so I fucked that up. Way too thick on that side. That was a line mess up. You see, that's already more interesting than whatever this is. But it's this interesting state of being between quote unquote flow and not thinking, and also thinking at the same time. Just trying to figure it out. And let's see. Okay, I do want to draw one more complex shape and memorize it because I genuinely want to do that. I genuinely want to push my brain. I don't think I've pushed myself. I think that's the biggest thing, is when I haven't made enough of an effort. It's when I feel as if I guess that's when I get frustrated. Most people get frustrated because they expect too much of themselves in terms of what they can produce. I think my expectations are, I'm not even trying hard enough, right? Neither is good, to be honest. Expecting anything of yourself is just a one-way ticket to being disappointed, which is why I like to do my best to embody and pair it, enjoy the effort, enjoy the process. How else am I gonna be the man that I want to be? Okay, we can do something like, I have an idea here. Now, let's just use curiosity to test it out, right? See, now I'm making a genuinely concentrated effort. I can feel myself making this effort, which is the most important part. There you go. And let's round this. There you go. Cool. Why did that sound like the Minecraft falling sound? Ooh, this is a fucking. Why do I sound like that? Okay, and now, because I need to work with the constraint of the fact that I've sort of, if I do something like that, and then do something like this, just trying to think how I can go. This is just, I'm just experimenting right now. It's actually not going too bad. I think the only thing is, yeah, it needs to be clear that this is a diagonal, right? So you do something like that. Something like that. And then how would this come about? Well, this is completely blocked off. We don't see that at all, right? Let me try memorizing this at the very least. So rectangle, small rectangle, big one, small one, and then rounded shape. Okay, let me give it a shot. Let me just look at it one more time. And then I'll memorize this because it's been an hour, and then we're just gonna, well, I'm gonna rest for like 10 minutes and I'm just gonna come back to it. Right, just keep drawing, trying to keep working, I wanna really, really push my brain as a thing. I really wanna push myself into being able to do interesting designs and shapes and memorize them. Okay. Just trying to think of the orthographic view for this. Something about this seems off though. It almost seems as if this is the diagonal now. This one, even though it is this one. What is it that's off? Because that, honestly, this could also be a fucking... It's like the minor axis could be this way or it could be this way. The orientation for this box can change. I actually know what the mess up is. It's this. This right here should actually be more like this. Is that it? Yeah, well, and I didn't make this centered either. There's a lot of things about this that actually look off, but let's just try to draw it. Right. Already messed up the perspective for this, but pretty sure this was rounded. Just gotta keep challenging. Oh, fuck me. Okay, thankfully I didn't look. Just gotta keep challenging ourselves, right? This thing, where is the fucking sticky note part? There it is. Cool. Okay, just gotta keep challenging ourselves. Okay, so this here, I don't see much. So it was this. This was a big one, a tiny one, right? So it was like that. Big, then tiny. And then long. And then, did it go outward again? Yeah, it went outwards and then went like this. Right? And then we had something like that. This was the rounded shape. Yeah, I actually think this ended up becoming the weird diagonal. And even here I ended up doing the same thing. Right? But then how did it attach? It's just like this, right? Something like that, I believe. See, I'm just trying to keep the rounding and the perspective in mind, because that's what makes it difficult. There you go. Something like that. And here we have something like, it was a bit bigger, I know, but I'm just trying to, let's put actual effort into it. Something like that. Okay, so this was a lot longer. Yeah, this was a lot longer. This was correct. So this was just a lot longer. But that, oh, I just basically didn't make this as big as it should have. So if you think about it, if it's starting right here, it easily would have gone out to about here. And then it would have kept going. And yeah, it would have actually, the length would have been perfect if I just accounted for that better. But I'm going to rest my brain. I'm going to call it here for now, and then I'll be back in an hour. This was good. I'm just slowly, I think what I need to do is stick to a method. Right now, I'm kind of going all over the place, like, oh, I'm trying to figure this out, trying to figure that out. I think what I literally need to do is focus intently on creating rounded shapes and designing something, and then rotating it. Just like what I was doing before. That's what helped me before, that's what's going to help me now, right? Although I will say the complicated nature of my shapes have gotten more, yeah, like they've gotten more interesting, you know? So can't knock myself too much, but yeah, I think I just want to keep making an effort, try my best to make a genuine effort, and that's the main thing that's kind of giving me a little bit of I don't know, we'll have to figure it out. Or maybe I should do something like the first 20 minutes I just ideate, and I just ideate, and I just try to come up with as many different ways to create multiple rounded shapes as possible, right? And then the last 40 minutes or so, I will memory draw and like create an actual full complicated shape and then rotate from memory. But there's a lot that can be done with this. I think I just need to find my groove right now. So yeah, I'm not gonna knock myself. I'm just gonna shit on myself. Okay, but with that being said, I hope you all had fun drawing, right? I mean, I'm going through my trials and tribulations, but I'm still enjoying the effort that I put in, because that's what matters to me. I guess I'm just trying to figure out, this is just the friction that comes with learning, and I should just enjoy this, to be honest. Right? This is literally the friction. I couldn't figure things out. I couldn't apply things that I wanted to, and that's why I need to focus on just applying, right? And letting go of expectations, whether the expectations are on my own effort or on the outcome. And nowadays, it's not really about the outcome. It's just about my own effort. So perhaps, if I'm going to be honest with myself, today was probably a good amount of thinking about the outcome a bit too much as well. So it's not a constant state, but I don't know why the fuck I'm explaining myself to anybody. I'm going to do better, and you all do not embody this. Always do your best to enjoy the process, right, and figure things out, but let's remove the expectation from it and the judgment from it. That's the biggest thing. So I'm going to do my best to keep that recalibrated, moving forward, yes. So, because in general, my mindset's been pretty good about art, but I have days like these because I too am just like you, for real. Patreon, link in description. Okay, anyways, yeah. As always, fuck you for watching. Keep drawing, and please give me money. Thank you.